What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to wire up 3 switches in one switch location. Just like that. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's go change and get this done. Come on. So I'm in the process of remodeling, and I added an extra switch leg here in this box. We're going to have a switch for the porch, a switch for the lights that I just added, and then I've got a ceiling fan in the middle of the room, and I'm putting in a fan light combination switch. Wiring 3 switches is definitely probably more complicated, probably more overwhelming for the average homeowner than just wiring up 1 switch. But if you understand the basics of how the electrical system works and how the switch leg works, it should, well, my hope is that it makes it a little bit easier to understand. So the first thing you need to understand are some basics about a single pole switch and how that works. I've got a basic diagram over here showing you how a lighting circuit works.
In order for a light to work, you need a hot and a neutral. Imagine that the electricity is always traveling in a loop. Power travels to the light on the hot wire, goes through the bulb, and then it returns on the neutral. That cycle continues until the circuit is broken when the switch is turned off, and then it resumes again when the switch is turned back on. Now, notice that the only wires that are connected to the switch itself are the hot and the switch leg. The neutrals, they stay tied together in the box. After you've made sure that the power is off to the wires that you're working on, strip the insulation back to expose all the wires. Since every lighting circuit is going to need a neutral, but those neutrals aren't connected directly to the switch, we're going to be grouping the white wires, or the neutrals, together. Strip the ends back about 1/2 inch, twist them together with your pliers, always being sure to twist them in a clockwise direction. Then we're going to cap them off with a wire nut and push them in the back of the box so that they're out of the way. Next, we're going to be making up our ground wires. We need a ground wire connected to each switch. So like the neutrals, we're going to gather all the ground wires together and trim them so that they're about the same length. But in addition to this group of wires, we need 3 pigtails coming off, 1 for each switch that we have in the box. Put the pigtails with the rest of the wires and twist them all together. Now, since we have so many wires twisted together, this wire nut is too small. You're going to want to use a larger one that has the capacity to hold more wires. At this point, we're able to start grouping the wires by what's going to be needed for each switch. So I like to lay them out as if I'm grouping them together for the switch I'm going to wire up. We also need a hot for each switch. Now there's 1 hot wire coming into the box, and I'm going to use 3 pigtails, 1 for each of the 3 switches. So grab some extra wires that you're going to use for your pigtails, strip them, twist them together with your pliers, then add your wire nut to connect them. Then push those wires in the back of the box, but leave 1 pigtail exposed for each of the switch locations. Now, with the wires laid out the way we have them, it's like we have the wiring for 3 individual switches. First is going to be a single pole switch that controls the light on the porch. Strip the wires and make a hook on the end. I don't know why, but I usually hook the grounds up first, and then I connect my hot and my switch leg. Always make sure that when you're attaching the wires, if you've made a hook, do it in a way where the hook is going in a clockwise direction so that when you tighten the screw, it pulls in on itself.
On the switch, you can see top right there. That means that since there's no other markings, that's off, that's on. That's how I want it installed. Next, I have a dimmer that I'm going to put the recessed lights on. Now, this is a Leviton dimmer. Be sure to connect the hot to the terminal that the instructions said to, and the switch leg will connect to the other terminal. Again, top on,
Now this device is like 2 switches in one, and it's going to wire up a little bit different, but it's actually pretty easy. Wire the ground wire and the hot according to the instructions. Then there will be 2 switch legs coming out of the back. One controls the light, the other controls the fan. It doesn't really matter which one you hook up to the switch leg as long as it corresponds with the way you have the fan wired up at the ceiling. Push the wires back in the box and install the switch. When you put your cover on, if you flip it upside down, you can make sure that all of your switches line up before you try and screw the screws in. Once they're all lined up, go ahead and put the cover on.
Last thing we need to do is just test the lights to make sure that they work. And they do. Now, I am in the process of doing a remodel, so I don't have the light installed on the porch yet. I don't have the ceiling fan installed yet. We just installed the recessed lights. So I still have drywall, patch, paint, and things to do. So technically these are gonna come off. I just wanted to put these in and show you how to complete this particular project. Let's test a couple of other things. We're gonna test the fan and the porch light with our tester to make sure that they come on. Okay. I know sometimes these videos can make this stuff look easy, sometimes a little easier than it is. This isn't necessarily a beginner project, but it is one that I think you could do yourself now that you have the information. If you aren't comfortable doing this and for whatever reason you need switches added anywhere, a licensed electrician should be able to come out to your home and help you take care of that project. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, hit that thumbs up. It lets us know you like the videos that we're making. And if you did like the video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Until next time, good luck with your next project. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.